drive along Highway 60, the same road that Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, Jesus, all of the apostles walked on, there are many significant places that you can stop. One of them is nestled right here in the Benjamin Valley. It's the place where Samuel heard from God, where many great battles were fought, where generations of God's people planted and tended their vineyards, and where God's presence rested for nearly 400 years. Guys, we're here in ancient Shiloh. Shiloh was the first capital of ancient Israel, when God's presence and the tabernacle rested here for 369 years. So when Joshua brought the people of Israel into the land, this was one of the first places they came to, and it was the center of Israel for the books of Joshua, Judges, also parts of 1 Samuel. Here is where the most famous prayer, maybe of all time, was offered up to God when Hannah prayed for a son. Here's where that prayer was answered when Samuel was brought in to serve and grow up in the tabernacle. This is where Samuel's ministry began. This is where he launched out to become one of Israel's greatest prophets and then to go on and anoint the first two kings of Israel, Saul and David. Shiloh was the unifying spot that brought the nation of Israel together 3 times a year, when nearly the entire nation would come up for the feasts of Passover, Shavuot, and Sukkot. Imagine being a pilgrim, coming to this holy place and camping on that mountainside right over there. The Ark of the Covenant was here. God's presence literally rested in this spot. It's so crazy to be in these locations, to know the physical presence of God literally rested here for nearly 400 years. It's like you can feel the Bible come to life before your eyes. 3,000 years ago, Joshua brought the people of Israel across the Jordan into the land of Israel, and this was one of the first places that they came to. They set up the tabernacle site here in ancient Shiloh, and it was the first capital of Israel. It wasn't the final capital, though, because ultimately Jerusalem was the place that God chose to place his name forever, and that was his eternal resting place. Samuel grew up in the tabernacle. He served with Eli the high priest, and then he went on to anoint King David, and it was to King David, the man after God's own heart, that it was revealed the final resting place of God's glory, Jerusalem. Ultimately, Shiloh was destroyed. The tabernacle site was destroyed by the Philistines. It was burnt to the ground. But there's still so much significance, so much history left for us to uncover today. An obvious question many people have is, how do we know this is the actual site of Shiloh? Well, the modern town of Shiloh was founded in 1978, and a short time later, they made a fascinating discovery. In their search for the ancient city of Shiloh, they found a massive storage room with 50 clay jars in it. All of the archaeologists agreed that these were Israelite jars, and in one of the jars, they even found raisins that were burnt and charred. They carbon dated these raisins, and they were found to be from the year 1050 BCE, the exact same year that the Philistines destroyed and burnt the tabernacle to the ground. What I'm holding in my hand is pottery that is literally 3,000 years old. When the children of Israel would come up for the feast 3 times a year, they would camp on all the hillsides surrounding the tabernacle site. They would break their clay dishes after use because they were holy from being used in the tabernacle, and after years of this happening again and again, all that's left for us to find is heaps upon heaps of pottery shards. The ground in this whole area is covered with broken pottery shards. I'm talking in massive proportions. But if you go over the hillside, out of sight of the tabernacle, the level goes back down to normal. Before the temple in Jerusalem can be built, one all-important sacrifice has to take place. God details in the scriptures that in order for the people of Israel to be purified from contact with death, a stringently pure red heifer must be offered by the priesthood in the prescribed manner. Throughout history, a total of 9 red heifers have been sacrificed. But today, here in the place in ancient Shiloh, where it all began many years ago, a possible 10th red heifer could be behind these doors. So they've been searching for red heifers for the sacrifice for the temple. They brought these cows all the way from Texas, and these things have to be extremely, well, these for one are extremely rare because they have to be a certain way. They have to be completely red. They can't even have 2 hairs next to each other that are a different color. They have to be 100% totally red. So it's possible that one of these cows could be used as the 10th red heifer. It's pretty cool stuff. 3,000 years later, the people of Israel have come home just like God said they would, and ancient Shiloh has been rebuilt. After 2,000 years of exile, the Jewish people returned home just as it was prophesied in the Bible. In 1948, Israel was declared a nation, and then in the push to bring back settlements and Jewish communities to the area of Judea and Samaria, the modern-day town of Shiloh was founded in 1978 by the Gush Emunim movement. The community of Shiloh today is thriving with synagogues, schools. There's hundreds of children playing in the streets today. There's acres and acres of vineyards planted all around this area, fulfilling exactly what God said would happen. You know, just as the prophecies that God spoke about the destruction of the tabernacle site, about the destruction of ancient Shiloh, just as those prophecies came to pass, so too are the prophecies about the redemption and restoration of this place taking place today. Jeremiah chapter 7, verse 12 says this: "Go now to my place that was in Shiloh, where I made my name dwell at first, and see what I did to it because of the evil of my people Israel." But then it says in chapter 31, verse 5, "Again you shall plant vineyards on the mountains of Samaria. The planters shall plant and shall enjoy the fruit." Guys, God's people have returned. They've planted the vineyards Jeremiah spoke of. They're raising their families, rebuilding the ancient ruins. The crazy thing is that the world is pushing Israel to uproot these vines, expel these people, tear down these houses, and hand this land over to the Palestinians for the creation of yet another Palestinian state. This is God's land, and nothing good ever comes from giving away God's land. Shiloh may no longer be Israel's capital or the center of worship, since God chose Jerusalem as his eternal resting place, but its significance remains undeniable. Historically, archaeologically, and spiritually, this is a place that tells the story of Israel's beginnings. Nestled in the heart of the biblical heartland and sitting directly on the biblical highway, the very road connecting the stories of Abraham, Samuel, and the rest of the Bible, standing here, you realize this isn't just the story of Israel's past. It's the foundation of God's ongoing covenant and story with his people, a covenant that never ends. Hey guys, thank you so much for watching. If you would like to experience the land of Israel for yourself, you can check out one of the many trips that we offer here at the Israel Guys. You get to meet the people, experience the land of the Bible for yourself. Just go to theisraelguys.com to check them out today.